welcome to William Hill's Café Roar, the only place you need to be for everything you need to know about England and the Women's Euros. We're here in Manchester, where England will be kicking off their tournament against Austria on July the 6th. Ahead of each game, I'll be joined by very special guests where we'll be assessing England's chances, giving our score predictions and analysing the tournament as a whole. But for now, here are 3 things you need to know before a ball has even been kicked. The Netherlands won the Euros in 2017 and they got to the final of the Women's World Cup in 2019. And guess who was their coach? Sarina Wiegman. She's now England's coach, so we'll be hoping for some Wiegman magic. England are never shy in front of goal. In 2017, Jodie Taylor finished top of the scoring charts with 5 goals. And in 2019, Ellen White finished one better, joined top of the scoring charts with 6 goals. So the stage is set for another England Golden Boot. With England's only ever major trophy, men's or women's, coming on home soil, England fans will be hoping that football is coming home. Welcome to Café Roar. I'm here in Manchester and I'm joined by my co-host and podcaster, journalist. She kind of does a bit of everything, Flo Lloyd-Hughes.
Thanks so much, Nicole. Very kind intro.
Then we've got this one, ex-England and Manchester City defender Joleon Lescott and WBO junior middleweight champion, right?
That's right, yeah.
Natasha Jonas over here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And you guys can get involved. Comment below and use the hashtag #HearThemRoar because we want to hear from you. Let's jump straight into it. The Euros, obviously. It is finally upon us. How do we feel England are going to do? Is it coming home, Flo Lloyd-Hughes?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Without a doubt. Very confident of that. I wouldn't say anything else. I think definitely.
Are we feeling as optimistic as Flo?
I definitely believe more than hope it comes home. But yeah, they're strong. Being obviously in England as well, the games and stuff, so that's going to help.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Oh, okay, so that's a bit more like reserved, a bit more sensible.
Yeah.
They've done really well in the last few European and successes in the warm-up games, so yeah.
And they're currently unbeaten under Sarina Wiegman. 14 unbeaten since she's come in. So they're kind of absolutely smashing at the moment. So I feel like you've got a reason to feel quite positive.
They're unbeaten in 14 games. They've beaten some very good teams in that run. They have a very good coach. A lot of the team are reaching their kind of peak when it comes to in your football career. They've got very good players in important positions. They've got very good, exciting young players as well. It's kind of the total package.
We have got some incredible forwards. And then, because I always come to Ellen White, who's just amazing. She's also, she's got the experience on her side as well, performed in tournaments. But then you've got Beth Mead. You've got so many players in this squad.
Yeah, you never know, but if you're going to choose a way to go into a tournament, it's being unbeaten with 14 games, and momentum is key and for confidence. And there's no better preparation that they could have had. So I'm sure they're optimistic about the chances of winning. But like I said, it's a genuine belief.
I think the whole country's behind them. You've got that home advantage, which is massive. The stadiums are going to be packed out already. Big ones have been sold out, so that helps. It can help or hinder, and we're hoping that it helps.
Joleon, so what's it like to represent England in a major tournament?
It's surreal after, when you're in the game and you just kind of take it for granted. Obviously happy to go and be involved, but as I said, it was after I retired, and I really appreciate what that meant to a nation. Lucky enough scored as well. So I was speaking to someone the other week about my proudest moment in football, and it wasn't the goal, it was the fact that I got a text from my mum, she texted me after that game how proud she was about that moment, because that was like a moment that the whole nation was watching.
And Natasha, someone you know very well, obviously your sister Nikita Paris is in this team. Do you have any insider gossip? How's she feeling? What's she saying about it all?
I think they're just excited. They're coming, like you say, they're coming off of at the back of being successful, and they just want to get into the tournament and be in front of home fans and perform and do what they know that they can and play like they know they can.
Earlier this week, Emma Jones caught up with Farah, Rio and Rich to chat about all things Women's Euros.
Farah, the Women's Euros this year are going to smash all attendance records.
It's massive for the women's game. I think the fact that TV invested heavily in our league this year, building into the Euros. It's crucial that we have that backing going into a major tournament. It allows for fans to have seen what potential players could be playing in the Euros for their nation. And I think the FA have done a fantastic job in selling tickets. I know the England games are completely sold out and record-breaking crowds for other games. There's still tickets to be sold and work to be done. But I think once the tournament starts and they see the level and the calibre of players that are playing in this tournament, the game's been, growing significantly since I've been a player and a retired player. And I think this tournament's going to make it even better.
Rich, do you think there's an argument that actually more of the bigger stadiums could have been utilised?
I think if it was now, I think they would have picked more stadiums. If the tournament was another 2-3 years away and they were making that decision now.
The England games will get sold out because it's hosted in England, but some of the other nations, we don't want to go and get cameras that are showing half-empty stadiums. So we want the stadiums to look packed. We want it to look like, there is real interest in it. So we'd rather a sold-out 20,000-seat stadium than a half-sold 50,000-seat stadium.
If you was a player, though...
I want it to look packed.
No, but if you was a player...
If I was a player, I want to be in a stadium that looks full.
Like an average stadium than go and play at like maybe a half-full Wembley or...
Yeah, but I'd rather play at a packed stadium, because it just... Sometimes when you play in a women's game, you go to a game and they sell one side and then the whole three stands are just empty. I'd rather it look busy. When I grew up as a kid, it was the men that were the role models that we had, and you only knew about men's football as a female coming through the game.
I think a big thing as well is you see a lot of the bigger clubs now has women and men alongside each other. Just that little image there, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but in terms of a young person's eye, that gap starts to be beginning to be bridged a little bit. There's little things like that, and the message and the way it goes out is really important.
So we heard there that Farah was saying that she'd kind of rather play in smaller stadiums that are sold out than bigger ones that are half empty. How do we feel about that?
I don't know. Atmosphere might be different from Natasha, but for me, the more glamorous the stadium, I'd want to play in. Yeah. If there's no one in there, then it's a problem. But if you're telling me I can play at Wembley, half capacity,
You'd still rather do Wembley,
or a smaller stadium, full capacity, I'm playing at Wembley all day.
No, I'd agree in the sense of I think prestige of some places like Vegas and Madison Square Garden. You compare that to like York Hall, which is also a good venue, but it's not Vegas and it's not. So the prestige of being somewhere big is also nice. And to tick it off your bucket list and be like, well, I've been there, I've done that. And to tell your grandkids, you want to be in front of the biggest crowd at home. People are going to be tuning in. You're going to be household names and stuff. And I think that's what they want.
And Rio was saying how it feels like a lot of clubs are actually advertising and putting more into their women's football team. Are you seeing a difference in that flow?
Yeah, I think so, especially at Premier League level. I think there's pressure from the fans and from brands that are saying, we want to work with you, but we also want to work in women's sport, and we expect there to be a women's team.
Before that, there's only maybe, I know I could name one, but there's only a certain amount of players that you could name. But now you could ask people on the street; they probably know half the team. Yeah, it's massive for the sport.
The ticket sales for this Euros have been really impressive. It goes to show that there is clearly an appetite there for the women's game, right?
No, 100%. As I said, it's progressively got bigger over the last few years. So this isn't a surprise to me in terms of the attention. And right now, I think we're seeing it as a nation. We're seeing it as this is English football rather than the women's game, which is obviously bodes well for us as a nation.
We sent Flo out and about in the city to get a sense of the excitement at grassroots level.
Yes, I'm here in Manchester ahead of the start of the tournament, and I've come down to West Didsbury and Chorlton Football Club to get a few predictions.
Paul, how long have you been involved in women's football for?
20 years since my daughter started playing.
Let's talk about the tournament this summer.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think, if you look at England, for example, there's a lot of talent there.
Any particular players that you're looking forward to seeing this summer?
I like goal scorers. Ellen White knows where the net is. Hedberg for Norway. So I'm looking forward to seeing Alexia as well for Spain.
Anyone you think's going to get the golden boot?
Ellen White for England. Yeah, she's been great all throughout her career, I'd say. So I feel like we could do some damage to a lot of teams, really. So.
Anybody can win. There's a number of strong teams in there. I'm reasonably optimistic they'll make the semis, and then I suppose it depends who you get in there.
I think England are going to get knocked out in the semi-finals.
We want them to win. That's what I want.
Score predictions for that first game, England-Austria.
A 3-goal margin.
England 2-0. I'm going to say 3-1 England.
3-1. 3-1 England.
Paul really shows that this is a tournament for everyone. Seemed like a great guy. What was it like meeting him?
There's so many people like him who are just kind of such big grassroots champions and so important, people that have dedicated their lives really to a sport. But I think he's just really excited about the future of football in this country, I think. And even at the club that he's been involved with for, I think, nearly 20 years or something, he's seen how the women's and girls' setup there has just kind of exploded recently, and that must be so exciting for him and really rewarding for the people that he works with. And yeah, he's got big hopes for England as well, which is what I like to hear. So,
because it's coming home. Speaking of that, we need to talk about some of the other teams in the Euros. It's only fair. Who do we feel like are our biggest rivals to take home that trophy?
I think Sweden are probably the biggest rivals, I'd say, in the tournament. They've had a lot of success at major tournaments recently. They've added a little bit more attacking creativity and flair, and they've got so much firepower going forward. So it kind of feels like, in terms of depth, in terms of balance, they're the total package now. And then they've got that good tournament experience. So I think they're going to be pretty good.
OK, we need to talk about who is going to win the Golden Boo. I really want to hear some England players here, but who are we thinking?
I'm going to say Ellen White. I'll back her.
I'll get killed if I didn't say anything but my sister, so
yeah,
I'm going to say
that's fair. That's fair.
Fair. Flo?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Ellen White as well. Yeah, she turns into an absolute monster in tournaments. So yeah, going Ellen White.
All right, and then obviously England's first game is against Austria. I want some score predictions.
I'm going to say 3-0 England.
2-0.
I'm going to agree with Joleon Lescott again, 3-0.
You've heard our thoughts, but whoever you're backing, remember you can get enhanced odds on England to win the tournament with William Hill. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. That's it for show 1. Catch us next time where we'll be in Brighton discussing the results from that first game and looking ahead to the next fixture. See you then.